So, welcome. Thank you guys for joining. We have Trucking Prepper and Trucking Prepper's wife. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome, thank you.
And, I want to touch on you guys, Trucking Prepper. You put out a very, very helpful video. And speaking of helpful videos, Trucking Prepper's wife, can we can we call you Trucking Prepper's wife, or do you want me to call you something different?
To make it easier, you can just say Liz and Doug.
Okay, Liz, Doug.
Because
So,
it's a mouthful.
So Liz, I noticed and on your channel that you're actually putting out some really great content, and I'd love to see more of what you're working on, especially with some of this information that you're providing for the noobs about how to safely go about heating this winter. Probably maybe something a lot of people weren't really considering until some of the economic changes that have been occurring, maybe some changes with their lifestyles or their income or whatever, and now they're looking for alternatives, especially with energy costs being as high as they are, or at least going up. I would assume in your neck of the woods, north of the border, and Canada, are you guys seeing an increase in energy costs as well?
We don't ourselves know because we're on wood heat for the most part.
Yeah.
Um,
We have some propane tanks too, but we haven't really filled them up since last spring. So I'm actually worried about when we fill them next, how much that's going to be.
You know what? With that being said, if you wouldn't mind, please put something together when you do fill them, just to let everyone else know,
Okay.
what you experience. But, I do want to talk to you guys about the supply chain crisis in North America. And you guys are in Canada, but you do travel back and forth. I think you're running from, was it Northeast Canada to the West Coast, North to America, California?
Yeah.
Toronto to Los Angeles, basically.
Yeah, because Northeast could be considered like the Maritimes, and we're not quite that far.
Oh, okay. I got you. And on the video that Doug Trucking Prepper that you put out not too long ago, and if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. There will be a link in the description. You mentioned that Canada is short 23,000 truck drivers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Um, Basically, there's every company is hiring. At this point, we can go to any company we want and basically pick the best paycheck that we like or the best company that we like. And there is a difference. Like right now, we're with a really good company. The drawback is the paycheck's a little bit lower than what it could be at a different company. But I know the company. My dad worked there 25 years ago. I worked there when I was 16. And the way that we're treated there far outweighs the paycheck, so to speak. It's kind of like you got to be happy where you work, and where we are, we're happy, and it outweighs the paycheck. We're making enough that we're getting by. We're doing what we need to do, but we could be making more somewhere else, but we wouldn't necessarily be happy.
Yeah.
I guess one of those situations where the grass isn't always greener on the other side. You switch, you can make more, but that may take a mental drain or mental toll on you both by not enjoying the company you work for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know,
we're considered people and part of the family in this company, whereas a lot of other companies just see you as a number.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be a huge sticking point for a lot of companies moving forward because the employee morale and how they view their importance with the company will speak volumes for, in my opinion, how successful that company is going to be
Exactly.
in the long run. Now, you also mentioned that the U.S. is short 80,000 truck drivers with a projected uh, deficit to double that and be 160,000 drivers short next year.
Yeah.
If they
Yeah.
go five, I'm not surprised. Why would
So,
they be surprised? So many businesses can't work out of California anymore.
so, if you could just give me your opinion. This is just a conversation we're having, trying to analyze the market from boots on the ground, real world intel. Would you say that this deficit of U.S. drivers that far exceeds Canada's deficit is tied to California and AB5? Is it tied to the wages? Is it tied to businesses in general not shipping as much freight? What do you guys think?
Well, in the U.S., there's a lot more freight on the highways than what there is in Canada.
Yeah.
Um, so, because of that, there's a need for more drivers. Now, it's a little bit controversial, the driver shortage. Some people say there is no driver shortage because the rates are so low. If there was a driver shortage, the rates would be a lot higher. Other people say, yeah, there's a driver shortage because if you look at every company is hiring right now. Um, so it's kind of one of those catch 22s. Is there a driver shortage? Is there not a driver shortage? Um, as far as there being a higher driver shortage in the U.S., it's because 60% of the freight, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 60% of the freight is moved across country on truck, and 30% is on rail. Maybe I got that mixed up. It might be the other way around. Um,
So down here, we could say that there's a driver shortage for drivers willing to um, haul the freight for little to no compensation, basically.
yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. The the drivers, because there's little compensation, basically you get what you pay for. If you want quality, you pay more. If you want just something cheap, well, you're going to get something cheap. If you're going to pay them cheap, you're going to get something cheap, and you're not going to have the quality drivers.
So, what do you think about the young guys out there that are they're getting trained, they're getting ready, they want to get on the road, they may even be looking to entertain hotshot truck driving just to get their dip their toe in the water. Um, I feel like they don't have a clue as to what they're getting themselves into, and especially here in the United States, the rates are going to continue to go down further before they ever come back up.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. Um, Hotshot trucking's a whole different um, game in that generally you're looking after your own stuff. You can only haul so much weight. Like for us, we can put 80, our truck and trailer and load can gross out at 80,000 pounds, whereas a hot shot is a lot less than that. So they're limited as to what they can carry. Whereas with us, as long as it'll fit in the truck, we can put it in for the most part, and we don't have to worry about our weight so much, and that causes an issue. Now, for the hotshot truckers, um, they're driving pickup trucks.
Yeah.
Um, a semi is built for high mileage. Like 250,000 miles is low mileage on a semi.
Mm-hmm.
250,000 miles is extremely high mileage on a pickup truck. So they're going to end up with more maintenance issues, more repairs because of that. Their truck, instead of our trucks can go for 10, 15, sometimes 20 years, whereas theirs, they'll be lucky if they get 10 out of it.
So, Doug, I know that you are working on new videos for the channel for Trucking Prepper. Do you have any videos on your schedule to help these hotshot these these rookies, these novice, just getting into it? Do you have anything on your schedule to help them get a better idea and understanding for what they're getting themselves into?
I've been toying. I'm at the. Um, I'm basically exploring the idea right now, trying to figure out what I can put out that'll help them. I did put out a video not too long ago to help out one hotshot trucker that's on YouTube, Burning Rubber Entertainment,
Nice.
to help him out primarily. But it's kind of one of those. There's so much I can put out. I almost don't really know where to start. I've
I like
basically
I like
forgotten
Burning
what
Rubber
I could
Entertainment.
ever teach, right? So uh, it's kind of like I'm working on stuff, yeah, but when that's going to come out, I'm not entirely sure at this point.
Well, I hope it comes out soon, but I do like Burning Rubber Entertainment, and I've seen some of his videos. He actually caught my attention just because of his attitude, and he just seems so positive and upbeat about it, but almost also a little bit optimistically naive about what's really going on. And what really strikes me, besides him picking up roofing material, because one of his videos he picked up roofing material, and that's pretty much my background, but I noticed his finances and his accounting, and he was calculating, but he was going about it all wrong, and
Yeah,
he didn't even know what he didn't know. You know, it's there's something out there. It's called the unknown unknowns, and he had a lot of unknown unknowns about his actual expenses and what he really needed per mile, per week, per month, really just to cover his expenses and his taxes and his insurance and everything before he could even think about talking about profit.
yeah,
And besides the safety component, besides the negotiating factor of working with the brokers and things like that, to me, I just hate watching these guys out there trying to make it, and they don't even know the little landmines that they're about to step on. They have no clue.
exactly. And I owned my own truck. I'm a company driver now. I probably won't go back as a broker, but I did own my own truck for a while, and the paperwork alone, like I'd leave out on Sunday night, Monday morning, do my work for the week, drive the truck for the week, come home on Friday night. Saturday, I'd spend the day working on the truck, making sure it was all ready for the next week. Sunday, I'd be preparing my food, doing my paperwork, and doing my laundry and getting myself ready for the next week and making sure the business is all caught up. And then I'd leave again Sunday night, Monday morning. So basically, you're married to your truck. If you own a truck, you're married to your truck, and your mistress is your wife. So, because your
Yeah.
entire life is going towards the truck, and you've got to figure out the first thing that you need to figure out is how much per day you need to make. So, if you need to make $1,000 per day, and you get an $800 load that takes you all day to get rid of, well, then your next load has to be a $1,200 load in order to balance it out.
Yeah.
So it is okay to take the lower paying loads, but you've got to make sure you get higher paying loads to balance out the lower paying loads.
What I hate seeing is that folks out there will take the lower load, then they'll get desperate, then they'll take another low price load just to get out of wherever they are stuck, to get to
Yeah,
the next spot, to hope to get a high price load, but then they're just saying, "Well, I got to get something versus nothing." And unfortunately, you can't operate like that. You have to have profit. Uh, you have to pay for yourself at the very least. And if not, then ultimately you'll find yourself in a situation like some of these businesses that we're probably going to see here soon, burning through cash if they even have it to burn through. And it's not sustainable.
exactly.
It's not
Exactly.
sustainable. But then on the flip side, you can go work for a company. But on the video that you posted, Doug, Trucking Prepper posted a video stating that one of the biggest problems is that these companies want to pay $50,000 or less for
Yeah.
drivers,
In some cases, yeah. But
and
they're
and
getting the drivers that they pay for, right?
and you mentioned with the 50K or less, the drivers have to pay for their own expenses as well.
Yeah. Like we pay all our own expenses out on the road. The company pays anything that's
Has to be
for the company. So if we need to get faxes done or photocopies,
fuel.
repairs, the company pays for all of that. If we break down, the company gets us a hotel room. But our food, we have to buy all our own food. Um, Anything for us personally, we pay for.
We have to pay for our own showers. things like that. Like when we shower at a truck stop, we have to pay for those ourselves. It's not covered by the company.
Gotcha.
Oh, but on the shower part, a lot of the truck stops, like Love's, TA, Flying J, Pilots, a lot of the truck stops have a membership program where you buy so much fuel and they'll give you a free shower. They'll give you credits for a free shower.
So
That's how
to
we avoid
so
that.
so to me, that sounds like a little bit of a hack
A little bit, yeah.
because the company's going to pay for the fuel. You keep the points.
Yeah, yeah, I get the points.
So that's
We get credits. We're with TA, TA and Petro. That's who we normally buy our fuel with. And we get credits that can be used for food for showers. And we also get points that we can redeem in store for merchandise. So that's actually how I've bought a lot of the prepping stuff that we have is I found stuff in truck stops and okay, I'll buy that with points.
so. I know that Trucking Prepper has a YouTube channel. I know Trucking Prepper's wife has a YouTube channel. And just for the folks out there who are watching and who are interested, what's it like trying to be truck drivers and content creators on the road? Just briefly.
Stressful.
Especially with yours, because you do a lot of research for your stuff and you post more often than I do.
Yeah, I try to get a video out every day, every other day. And for me, I'm more geared towards the news than pretty much anything else. I'm trying to incorporate more of trucking into that, but I'm more geared towards the news. And I have to do a lot of research. And when I drive 10, 11 hours a day, that limits how much research I can do. So my priority is my job, obviously. But during my half hour break, I'm on my phone or on my tablet researching what it is I'm going to do for my video. And then at the end of the day, when Liz takes over, I jump over into the passenger seat, finish doing my research, and pump out a video.
So,
So,
so, so a quick question for the folks watching. Just comment below. Do you want to see Doug pull together news articles and more information on world events, current events, breaking news, or do you want to see Doug bring you guys more content and more information from the POV point of view of a truck driver and or truck driving couple, which we need to talk about because you said Liz will drive too. So the two of you are both Class A CDL. Is it Class A in Canada?
yeah,
Yeah.
Class A CDL truck drivers.
Yep.
it's up here, it's Class AZ. The A is for the semi,
Yeah.
and the Z is for the air brake endorsement.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And you know, this is really trying to maximize on the opportunity, I think, by sharing the ability to drive the same truck, somewhat break down the hours so you have less downtime in between, and then ultimately, hopefully, allowing you more time to be home. But at least at the very least, you have more time to be together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
So
get usually I start driving in around about 6 in the morning, and Liz goes to bed around 8 in the morning. So we got about 2 hours in the morning where we're together, we're talking, editing videos, whatever it is we need to do, while one of us drives. And then in the evening, Liz takes over around 6, and I usually go to bed in around about 9 or 10.
He can handle it a lot better than I can. It's one of the reasons why I don't post as often because I'm usually pretty exhausted at the end of my day.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I can only imagine. Just you guys are pros, I know for sure, but I can only imagine the level of like how tense you would feel driving that truck with with so many drivers around you who are kind of oblivious in their own world, who don't even take into consideration anything about driving an 80 is it 80,000 pounds?
80,000 pounds.
Yeah, they don't even take that into consideration.
I'm actually going to be putting out a video within the next couple of weeks. It's going to take some time to get all the footage I need for it, but of stupid things that cars do around a big truck.
Oh man, I tell you what. What's that, Liz?
That, like you said, most of them don't realize what they're doing, but one of the points is so that he can show them what it's like from our perspective, how dangerous some of the things they do is.
If only some of these folks just even pulled a trailer. I used to pull, I think it was like a 22-foot trailer on a regular basis. And you have no idea what it means when you're pulling that trailer and you put your turn signal on, how people react to that.
Oh yeah.
Yep. They see the turn signal and then they race up beside you. They've been sitting back there for like 2 miles. As soon as you put on the turn signal, they speed up.
Yeah. You
And
know,
my answer to that is, you've been back there for 2 miles. I'm putting on my turn signal. I'm coming over.
you
And you
know,
can either slow down or move into the next lane or whatever it is you want to do. I'm still coming over.
or you get into the position to back up and they're thinking like, why is he in the wrong lane? And they just keep driving up on the back of you. It's like,
Yep.
get out of my way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's exactly it.
So, real quick, let's talk about driving for Walmart. Now, I know you had a video that mentioned Walmart's canceling orders, I believe,
Yep.
and also another video about how Walmart can't keep drivers.
A lot of companies can't keep drivers.
Walmart being one of them.
Walmart being one of them.
Now, I'm watching Walmart because Walmart is on my radar, and I see this problem happening with Walmart, but in so many different ways, including Walmart Spark, which is like just the gig work, independent driver, which also ties into Uber Eats and Lyft and things like that. And ultimately, the price of gas has a huge part. It plays a huge part in this.
Yep.
Now, I think you mentioned that Walmart is a big company and they're thinking about they have the ability to entice some of their drivers with $110,000 a year, but they still have an extremely high turnover rate at around 95%, I believe, is what you said.
I think it was something like that, yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think what it comes down to is that what I'm seeing with Spark and Uber Eats and some of these gig work is it sounds good, but you still don't make enough money.
Yeah.
So like, but then it's like with Walmart, it sounds good, but maybe you make okay money, maybe you don't make enough money, but Walmart apparently isn't the greatest employer to work for as a driver.
I haven't ever worked for Walmart as a driver. Um, I don't know. The impression that I've gotten, some guys like working for Walmart, but I think the majority of them, they're just there buying their time.
What would you be buying to go on their own, to find a better company, to switch careers altogether? What do you think?
Probably a good paycheck if you're looking to make a whole lot of money real quick. So maybe an intern. I need to pay off some bills. I'm going to go drive truck, work for Walmart for a while, and then go back to some other career that I used to have. Um, if they're wanting to stay in the trucking, Walmart's a good place to start out at to get some experience. That way, the better companies will actually look at you. A lot of the good companies that pay well, treat you like a person. They won't look at you if you're green out of school. So you need to get your experience somewhere. And a company like Walmart that'll hire you green out of school and pay you $110,000 a year, that's a good place to start. It'll get you your experience. It'll bring you in a whole pile of money so that you can get caught up on your bills, and then when you've got the experience, if you want to continue trucking, that's then you can move over to a company that'll treat you better. And you might not necessarily need 110,000. You might be okay with 90,000.
So these smaller companies and or these better companies, you mentioned having a turnover rate closer to 12%.
Yes. Yeah, I think the company we're at right now, they're probably in around about 20-25% turnover rate, I would think, or less. They've got a lot of drivers that have been there
Yeah, the guy who
over
trained me.
over 5-10 years.
Yeah.
So, and that's good for a trucking company. If you can keep a driver for a good portion of your drivers for 5-10 years, you're doing really good. And a lot of their drivers are more than 5 or 10 years in. Um, so, and they, like I say, the company we're working for now, they actually care. They treat you like a person. There was a while, about a year and a half ago, I thought I was getting a kidney stone. And I called up and I said, listen, I said, I've got pain in my kidney. I said, I'm not 100% sure. I think it might be a kidney stone, but I don't know. And I said, I'm going to keep going, but just be aware I may end up parking the truck and calling an ambulance. And they said, okay, keep us posted. And over the next week, it didn't end up being a kidney stone. It turned out to be like an infection or something, or it was pulled muscle or something like that. But over the next week, the safety manager and the HR manager was calling me on a daily basis just to see how I was doing.
Not
Just
to pressure him.
not to no pressure. Just I just wanted to call, see how you're doing. Are you okay? Uh, you're like is how's your kidneys doing? Are you good? Um, I don't want to see you end up getting stuck out on the highway. I don't really care about the freight. I'm more worried about you. And that's something that is very hard to find in a trucking company. Usually, it's we need to keep that truck moving. Can you get it home? Whereas they were, how are you doing? Do you need that ambulance? Are you good? Can you keep going?
So I'm willing to bet that a lot of folks that are listening to your story are really eager to find out what company that is exactly, and I'm going to leave that up to you guys. If anybody out here is interested in learning more about a great trucking company to work for, to drive for, possibly even others in Canada, in the United States, as well as finding out more information on all the important topics that Doug is covering on Trucking Prepper and Liz is covering on Trucking Prepper's wife, as she's actually going into more now of farming, homestead living, sustainability, growing food, and being self sufficient. I want you guys to check them out. Links are in the description. Go subscribe, go watch. And is there anything you want to tell everybody else before we go?
Don't be a bad driver.
Yeah,
Watch out for the big trucks.
give truck lots of space.
Yes.
If you're passing the truck, make sure you can see both of the truck's headlights in your mirror before you move over. That's a great rule of thumb.
Yeah.
If you can see both their headlights in your mirror before you move over, you're giving that truck enough space that you're not going to cut him off, and if you have to brake, he'll drive over top of you.
Also, don't get in front of a truck and slow down.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
If you're passing the truck and you get in front of the truck, stay on the gas for a couple of minutes and make sure there's lots of space between you before you slow down.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is sound advice. I appreciate you guys joining and sharing this information. I hope that I hope you guys are safe out there on the road, but I also hope that you putting together some more content, more videos coming real soon, because I know that the folks out there are waiting for all the good videos and information and prepping advice, because the whole thing about preparing isn't just preparing for nuclear war. It's not just preparing for EMP strike. It's not just preparing for a possibility of running out of food, preparing covers so many different components and aspects of life that we need a much more well-rounded view of how to prepare for so many different things that I know you guys are working on to bring to everybody. So thanks in advance. So if you enjoyed this interview and want to see more like it, just go ahead and comment down below and let me know. In the meantime, check out this video and this playlist. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out Trucking Prepper and Trucking Prepper's Wife. And I'll see you guys real soon on the next one. Take care. Bye.